So, I know it's dark. Sorry, I'm in the car and it's 5 o'clock in Alaska. Our sun goes down at like 4. It's insane. So it looks like it's 9 out. It's like super snowy and stuff out there too. It's gross. But I thought I'd do some backstory on me. A lot of my friends and family watch this, but some complete strangers watch this as well. And I kind of wanted to start speaking on some things, not just pregnancy related, because I think there's a lot of things that people should talk about and things that people shouldn't. So I just thought maybe I could help some people out with talking on some different platforms. So as a lot of you know, I'm 23 and my oldest will be 8 in 3 days. It's November 13th. So on November 16th, I will have an 8-year-old. I got pregnant at 14 and had him 3 months after I turned 15. He completely turned my whole world around. My whole world. I was skipping school. I wasn't going. I was failing all my classes. I was hanging out with older people who were doing drugs. I never did drugs, but I definitely shouldn't have been hanging out with those people. Drinking alcohol. I was just doing really bad at 14. And then I got pregnant and I decided I was going to do adoption. I of course was talked into an abortion, and that was pressured really hard on me, but abortion just wasn't an option for me. Even at 14, it's just not something I could have done. So I decided I would do adoption, and my children's sperm donor, I guess is what you can call him. I don't even like using that because sperm donors are super great to those people who want to have kids but can't because they don't want to be with a man or something. But I guess we'll call him sperm donor because he's no dad. But he wanted a baby at 14, which was insane, and refused to sign adoption papers. And I eventually decided about 3 months pregnant that I was going to be a mom and keep this child and do what I needed to do to be the best mom I could be. My philosophy on it always was he didn't choose to have teenage parents and he shouldn't suffer from it and should have the life that any normal adult mom could give him. So I started going back to school and I picked up extra classes. I'd do classes during lunch, and I got back on track to graduate on time. I got a job, and I just did what I had to do for my son. And when he finally arrived, I'd go to school, come home, take him, go to work, pick him up from daycare. I'd take him to daycare before school. And I just always strived to be the best mom that I could be for him. I provided what he needed, and his dad occasionally provided what he needed. His dad and I were off and on very, very toxic relationship. I was completely obsessed. I was a teenager and thought that was my world and just wanted that perfect family, and he could have killed me, brought me back to life, and I would have taken him back. He'd leave, go have sex with other females, and then come back, threaten to kill my parents and come back. Like, it was just so crazy. I remember he left for 8 months one time, and I still took him back. Told me he wished I would die, and I was the worst thing that ever happened to him. And he told me to get HIV and die. Just, he was always saying really nasty things, and I took him back every time. I have wanted to join the military since I was 7. And so I went to school and I graduated early at 17. My son was 2.5, almost 3. His dad and I got married at 17 before I graduated, so I could join the military. Otherwise I had to give over custody of my son. We were going to wait till we were 18 to get married, but we decided to get married a little bit sooner. And I remember picking out my shoes to get married. I was making sure I could run in them. I did not think I was going to go through with this marriage. I was completely obsessed, and then I started to have doubts and see what had actually been happening. But I got married anyways, and I instantly regretted it. About 2 months in, I said I wanted a divorce. And we didn't divorce, actually, for another 4 years. So for 4 years, I was married to this guy. I was with him for a total of 8. I joined the military as soon as I turned 18. I left for the military. And my first assignment was Okinawa, Japan. Absolutely gorgeous. To anybody who hasn't been, you have to go. It's just gorgeous. And the food's great and the people are nice. My little man's back there yawning. And him and my oldest son joined me, and we got pregnant with my youngest son, Ashton. Completely planned. I wanted another baby. I didn't know how I felt about having another child. I didn't know how I felt about having a child with him, but I knew I wanted a child, so we got pregnant and had Ashton, and it was just complete hell from there. That was the first time I realized I was in an abusive relationship. My friends had been telling me for years, my family had been telling me for years, and for years I just went, well, he doesn't hit me, and thought that was okay. But it was one day and I was trying to explain something, and he had told me to shut up, that nobody gave a fuck what I said and nobody was ever going to care what I had to say. And right then and there I realized I was in a mentally toxic, abusive relationship. And all the things he had said, and how many times he brought me down, or that I wasn't allowed to go and hang out with friends, and that I used to be an outgoing person and turn into this like reserved turtle shell person. And I knew I wanted out then, and I tried to leave again, and once again he promised it'd be different, and he changed, and he wanted us to work, and I went back. And my whole time in Okinawa, although Okinawa itself was great and I had great experiences and met tons of people, he made it miserable. I remember there's so many times where he had to go stay at a hotel, or he didn't work, and I was in the military security forces working nonstop and had 2 kids, and I'd have to wake up early and take my children to daycare and to school and go to work and then pick them up and come home and make dinner and clean the house, because he couldn't even be left alone with the children. His anger problems were that bad, he could not be left alone with his own kids. I remember my son was 3 months old, and I came home from PT, and he was screaming in the baby's face to shut up, and Colton didn't flush the toilet, and he stuck Colton's head in the toilet, and that was it for me. I grabbed my children, I said I'd be late to work, I took them to the babysitters, went to work, explained the situation, contacted child services on my husband. Yeah, baby, we're gonna go. Contacted child services on my husband and started the process of leaving. The shitty thing about the military is the military member has to support their dependent. So that meant I could not kick him out of the house. My children and I had to leave to go stay at a hotel. For any of you guys who know how expensive that is, it's extremely expensive. We couldn't stay very long. So eventually I ended up back inside this house with this guy. It was September, October, November, December, about almost a year. There were candles thrown, holes put in the floors. He told me he was gonna grab me by my neck and choke me out and throw me out of the house by my hair. And it was just crazy. Like, he did not put hands on me, but he would always threaten to, and it was just